Feel-good announcements. Thank you so much. We have so
Sure.
much to look forward to. And as I begin, I wanted to start with one of my favorite little decks of cards, I guess you could say, Louise Hay Power Thought cards. They're my favorite. And just a little tidbit for me, we are in our yoga practice. We've done the hardest part getting here. All we have to do now is be in the present moment. And I believe that we're at our peak power, our most strong, able, and ready to tackle the world when we are in the present moment. So that's going to be our goal today. My little power thought card that I'd like to share with you. When we create harmony in our minds and our hearts, we will find it in our lives. The inner creates the outer always. So I just love that. With that being said, welcome to class, yogis. I'm so happy to see you. I'm going to join you back on your mats, please, in a seated position. And as we begin class, while you're getting to your mat, if you'd like to grab any accessories, or if you forgot a pillow or a blanket or anything you think could be really helpful, I like to check in with our low backs. If you're deciding to sit cross-legged like me, just take your fingers and kind of wiggle them into the small of your low back. If you feel bony protrusions, that's our back saying that it's really not in its most wonderful neutral arc. And so we could take a pillow or a sweatshirt or a blanket or a block or a book and boost our hips up just a tad bit higher to support that nice natural curve down there. And as we begin today, we're just going to focus on our breath. Remember, we are at our peak power when we're focusing on the present moment. Once you found a really comfy space that you can sit for a few breaths, begin to notice your breath. We're not asking anything of it. All we're doing is simply being, changing our pace from doing and going to just being here now. And then noticing where we're feeling it, nostrils, throat, under collarbones, chest. Maybe I notice it's filling up belly already. And then lengthening if possible, just asking a little more out of your breath. Maybe it's pausing at the top and taking an extra sip. And then at the bottom, fully releasing and squeezing out all that air so you can refill even bigger next time. This is a great moment to set an intention for class. If you don't have an intention, a little mantra can be super helpful. I have the easiest one that you can't forget. As you breathe in, we think or say the word let. And as we breathe out, say or think the word go. Breathing in, let. Breathing out, go. Such a beautiful little mantra, an easy one to remember. And some alternatives as you consistently, slowly breathe to start your practice and to welcome you to your mat today. Let's breathe in everything that we want. Breathe out anything that's blocking us from getting to where we need to be today. Taking a deep breath in and thinking, I breathe in everything that supports me. Hold at the top just for 2 little seconds, an extra sip of everything that supports you. Exhaling slowly while thinking or saying, I breathe out everything that is preventing me from getting to my best, highest self today. Positive mantras with breath are unbeatable. So let's continue with those, yogis, as we add a little movement into our practice. Arms rise overhead. Really flare your fingers out and take a slow lift. Exhale, bring them behind you. Fingertips tap down on a prop or the floor, and we lift up under our chest. Creating more space, inviting more breath. Arms rise again. A tiny twist to the right. Right arm can extend or boost us up a little higher. And if our left arm doesn't quite reach across our body, we can keep it right on the left knee. Otherwise, reach for your right knee. Right arm rises back to sky. Keep left arm where it is, and let's keep sits bones glued into mat as we tip to the left side. Pay special attention to your neck. We get feedback from our neck, back, or our joints, our shoulders or knees today, always listening to them and moving as your body's asking you to. Right back down behind you. Fingertips back, chest rises. Like you've got a big helium balloon you can fill up. Back to center, arms lift. Tiny twist to the left, landing right arm wherever it feels helpful as a little guidance to swivel around the corner. Left arm can reach out as we breathe expansively into our fingertips. Sweep left arm skywards, another beautiful breath in. And gluing left sits bone down, let's tip a little bit or a whole bunch to the right. When we get a little tipsy-turvy here, it's hard to extend both side bodies, but I'm always gonna ask you to lift from your lower side body so we don't ever collapse down. Really support big, beautiful breaths. Arms rise, fingertips come behind, and if possible, this time we're gonna lift our hips. So wherever you are, if you feel like you might be able to lift your hips a little bit, great. If not, it's okay. Just scoot your hips forward and uplift your chest again. Exhale, release back down. And let's change the setting of our legs. Whichever one is not in front or on top, try that. Scoot your bum around so you're really comfy again and you feel that beautiful curve of the low back. No flesh stuck under sits bones. Sometimes a little wiggle will free it. And then let's lift chest, but take a big stirring of the pot action. Stir your torso to the left. Stir it to the right. Ooh, one of my favorite things to do to really wake up our energy bodies today, you know you have these beautiful chakras all along your spine. And if we get them spinning, we can really energy up for the day. So I like to think about spinning the upper body. I think about brownie batter and scooping all the batter off the edges of my bowl, my mixing bowl. But we want to just get the energy swirling around. Try to breathe and capture some of that energy and send it right on down to the tips of your toes, up into your hair follicles. Maybe you feel a tingle. To the tips of your fingers. So we're just awakening and feeling more alive. Stay if it feels great, or swing your arms with your body. So if I swing to the right, my left arm comes overhead. If I swing to the right, my left arm comes overhead, like I just said. When I swing to the left, my right arm comes overhead. And if your shoulders are a little tired, do it with a bent arm. Paying attention to our neck again. Moving as slowly or as quickly as your practice is asking for today. One more each way, yogis. Let's come all the way over to the right side, however long it takes you to get there. And this time, like a lazy cat, walk out over your right knee as long as your spine can be, and then go, and just relax. Great moment to gather up a pillow or a blanket or something for under your belly. It's like you're giving your belly, your digestive system, and your internal organs a big hug. Spinning to the center when you're ready, but go at it lazy cat style. Really reach forward some more, like you're apple picking. Reach and pick soon. I don't want to rush summer, but I do love apple picking. Come on forward. Release when it feels good. Swiveling over to the left side. Don't forget to rise though. Really lift and lengthen, and then reach out. Snuggle your pillow or something soft under your belly if you have it nearby. Last big breath in, yogis. All right, swing around to the side, whatever's really easy. And then we're gonna find our tabletop. So as you come around to your tabletop, knees are under hips, hands about under shoulders. If you find you have a little crankiness in your wrists, you could always just take a little roll of a blanket or another mat if you have it nearby and place that under your wrist for some help. Fists are always good, and forearms are always good. So we're gonna work through some movements here. In the beginning, would you mind tucking your toes and try to just really press your toes actively down, get a good bottom of foot stretch to wake that area up. And now I want you to act as if you're on a rocking ship and you can't get your balance. We're just gonna rock side to side, then make it more fun. To the front, to the back, try a little north, south, east, west, but then mix it up. Southwest, northeast, hit all the directions. Find a really long braced belly and spine. Draw your navel up in towards your spine and zip tie the two together while breathing fully. And then change that to a really snaky spine, kind of slithering through the spine and making all your funky directional combos a little bit more juicy, kind of rolling up in one way. There's no wrong way to move here. You could do circles, think of like a slow washing machine. If your toes came untucked, ask yourself if you could retuck them for just another stretch. And begin to move a bit further forward than you normally do so I can really feel my wrists warming up. One last change, yogis. Wag your tail like a puppy dog. So we're gonna crunch into one side, crunch into the other side, really waking up side bodies and obliques. And move slower to allow your neck to follow if it feels good. I like to drop my chin, and I think about ear to elbow, which doesn't actually happen, but it keeps you a little more rounded than ear to shoulder. Slow puppy dog wag with a little extra crunch. Let's find that beautiful neutral spine again. We can come into it really slowly, reset or find a new place if we need it. Right toes, stick them straight back, but then elevate with the left fingertips. If either are too challenging for your morning balances, we can hover off the floor or tap down. Starting a little rainbow arc, right toes come out and in, left thumb out and in. Now, can you put them together? Think about a little rainbow, tap down, up and in, tap down. And then if we don't need the tap, you're feeling really good, strong body awareness, cross-link shoulder and hip. And we can take our little, maybe it's like an M&M, if you like chocolate like me. Lift up. We have one more. Reach back out into pointer or reconnect with the earth. Crunch into a little ball, elbow to knee. You can tap fingers and knee down here, but round through your spine like an angry cat. Reach back out for pointer and release. So your opposite hand may need a little gentle shake if it does, like a baby bird flat. When you're ready, left toes tuck back. Just give a little push-pull, reawaken. Right fingertips, and remember I can keep everything on the ground for pointer. Or I reach up. Let's try one at a time. Leg goes out and in. Tap your toes down in the beginning. Really find your space. Arm, right thumb out. Right thumb in. How are your bellies? Really strong? Let's go together then. Breathe in. Breathe out. And once you have your whereabouts, don't tap anymore. See if you can think about pressing super long through each fingertip, through the flexed open bottom of your foot. Give me some good open yoga toes. If you get a little wiggle here and there or a little shake, that's good. We're waking up energy. Last one. Regular pointer, reach out, maybe tap toes, point them, whatever feels good. Big crunch, there's no rush here, rounding, pressing away and really curling in tight. Reach back out for length. Connect with your breath. Inhalation here. Exhalation to release. Nice. A little wrist stretch before we move on. If you can, turn your middle fingers towards one another, but flip your palms up. Now, this may be where you stay. This is going to be a tricky one. So I look like this, guys, with my middle fingers together, and my fingers are really open. Then I want to try to bend my elbows a little and make a fist. So if I'm back here, my buns towards my heels, this is much easier if you'd like to start here. Shifting weight forward makes it a lot harder. What else is going to happen? When I make a fist, I'm going to keep my thumb up. We want to try to get our thumb to close over the first or middle fingers. It's a very fun but challenging wrist warm-up. Micro bend in elbows. Shifting back if it's too intense. Shifting forward if you want more. So I'm really going to try to squeeze my thumb in there. And then I feel my inner wrist tendons. Feels really great, right? Slow, slow. Finding breath through the hard parts today. Last one, yogis. Beautiful. Okay, let's get off of these hands. Coming back to child's pose. Just take a second, toes tucked or untucked. Bodies long, side bodies, arms hollowing out of the armpits, really extending through the fingertips, maybe even suction cupping them, lifting heel of hand. When you're ready, look forward, tuck your toes, lift your knees and shins, and scoop your buns up into downward facing dog. Let's take all of the movements in the beginning of the class to try to see how our bodies are today. So a little swing and sway can awaken and introduce you to areas of tightness or things that need a little extra nurturing today. I always like to lift my heels, and then I spin heels one way, come back through center, spin heels the other. If you're feeling spicy this morning, you might want to sweep your arm out and do a little three-limbed dog. Sweep your other arm out. 2 more breaths, doing whatever feels like it's really enjoyable. After all, our practice is all about having fun, or why would we want to do it? 1 more big breath in and out. Lifting both heels, looking forward, and let's take a tiny little peg leg walk up towards our thumbs. If our hamstrings are very tight, we're deeply bent when we get to fold. And another little swivel or swing around the corners here. Slowly rising, and if you can keep the swing, that's great. We can climb our bodies like ladders. Little swivel, little swivel. Your head, the very crown of your head is the last to come up to the sky. When it arrives, sweep the arms. Beautiful, my friends, we have arrived. Let's warm our bodies. Exhale, forward fold. Scoop right back up to standing. We're gonna add some lateral stretches. Bending knees until my hamstrings feel ready for some more action. Tip over to the right. Maybe so much so that my left foot hovers a little. Back to center. Lengthen in the middle. Tip left. Ooh, my right foot might hover a little. Center we go. Over to the right side. This time right hand holds left wrist and really go. Are we brave enough to lift and tip? Star pose. That's scary in the beginning. Inhale, rise. Tip left. Left hand, right wrist to give you the extra pull, right foot. 1 more each way, center we go, long and strong. Left toes step back like a little curtsy, but then we hold the wrist and tip over. Now stay for a moment, finding some neck pleasure. Oh, looks good down there. Might feel good up top too. Center when you're ready. Right toes, a tiny tap, moving gracefully with ease through class today. Hold right wrist, lift. And then see what feels good. An opening, closing of the chest. An eye gaze, drop and rise. Center we go. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift when you're ready. If you enjoy the use of props for your sun salutation practice, this is a wonderful time to grab some pillows, equal size books, or your yoga blocks. Release to fold. Right toes step back soft and long, moving with grace and ease. Let your whole right knee, shin, and top of foot melt. And then just play for a second. Just ask your hips how they're feeling. Check in. If we need a little boost, we can use our blocks or our front thigh. Beautiful. Taking leg all the way back for child's pose. Untucked toes or tucked, whatever feels great. And let's just roll forward to a kneeling plank. Slowly lowering chest to elbows, right through that window. Really proud open chest, to the floor we go. Let's think about exciting our legs. Point your toes, energize, and push toes into the mat to really wake up. Your knees, thighs, calves, feel the lower body switch on. From here, hover hands somewhere, but I'd like you to take your thumbs to the head of your shoulder and act as if you could roll them back. Tuck your chin to your chest. Who's breathing? It's tough to breathe on your belly. Rolling tips of shoulder blades down to kiss our spines. Last breath in. Release everything. Then press back to child's. Let's take a little hover here, guys. Tuck our toes. Hover the knees for a second if you can. Light up the thighs. And then lift your hips. All the wiggles or all the stillness in downward facing dog, you choose from this point forward. Bend your knees in this dog. Pull your sits bones wider, like you could take them to the edges of your mat. Lift your tailbone a little more and find a deep hamstring stretch. Thinking about pressing shins forward, sits bones out and tailbone up towards crown of head. Look forward in that awkward tippy toe walk in, bending knees as much as necessary for a deep fold. Rolling to the top, make it really luxurious. We have no time to rush. Inhale, arms lift. Slowly making your way back down. And this time I invite you, since we've laterally stretched, to maybe consider soft knees like this. Just a little fall. Don't worry, we'll go the other way in a minute. And if you were like, oh, that was fun, let's try again. Rise and try the other side. Meeting everyone in fold. Beautiful, my friends. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen. Soften shoulders as if they've just melted back towards your buttons. Release into fold again. Left knee steps back, soft and controlled. Knee, shin, and top of foot are relaxed. And then if I want to build up, help myself a little higher, I just want to get into my hips. Welcome them into my practice. So I'm shimmying. I'm stirring my brownie batter again. Whatever I'm doing with my hips to ease them in. Pulling right knee back into child's pose. Tuck your toes or not, whatever feels great for bottoms of feet. Shift forward to kneeling plank, but if possible, we're rising up out of kneeling plank this time. Shifting a little forward for extra challenge, and then slowly lowering right back to the earth. Really energize all lower half. You know how to do that. Press your toes down and back. Lift up through the inner thighs. Knees and thighs may actually elevate. And this time, sweep arms out to sides like airplane wings, but roll your thumbs up if you can. Same action of shoulder head lifting up, back and down, bottom of your angel wings kissing your spine. One more breath. Pressing right back to dog if it feels good at this point, or pass through child's with me. Meet you in dog. One actual breath in here, a big, beautiful breath. Remember, let go. Look forward, lift your heels, tippy toe walk in. When you've arrived, wiggle your spine up to standing, do whatever it needs. If you find a really tight spot, feel free to stay for a sec. And then when you get to the top, inhale, rise. Okay, second opportunity, if you wanted to kind of get a little gooey, you can just right to the earth. If you'd rather swan dive or melt down, whatever feels really good, we will meet you in forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, soften your shoulders back and down. Unclench your jaw, maybe give it a little airplane popping my ear wiggle, like side to side in the jaw, squinch up your face, a little face yoga while no one can see you. And release back to the earth. Facial muscles more soft now. Right toes step back. Welcome to stay in kneeling lunge. Lift your arms overhead this time now. Toes tucked or untucked. And if I'm here in kneeling lunge, when I find warrior two, I'm welcome to find that kneeling as well. Heel swivels right behind me. For those of us that are up, land back blade edge of foot and find a soft arm floating and extending, warrior two. Really light and long through all of the edges of our shape. Knee out towards baby toe. Soften back knee, lifting arch. Beautiful. Let's make fists this morning for a strong man, strong woman, warrior. Right arm down, left arm up, sweeping back to reverse warrior. But think about scooping up longer in your right side. Keeping our fists, elbows bent, really pressing our fists in opposite directions. Strong man, strong woman, extended side angle. Right arm up, left arm down. Really push your fists in opposite directions. Left side energized. With our breath, yogis, breathe in. All right, so if this feels like it's a walk in the park, and you're like, cool, but I want a little more, then we can lift our left heel while we continue our strong warrior extensions. Left side lifted, beautiful. Right side lifted. Now if our left heel is lifted, our toes are liberated, they're wiggly. Face is undone of all that tension. Right back out to warrior two, now that our side bodies are really awake. Light and long, wiggle your fingers, just get rid of that tension. Left heel melts down if it was there. Turn right toes in and swivel like a big cartwheel, so playful and fun. Back down to lunge. Feel free to kneel and try to crunch your left knee under your body to get back to tuck toe or relaxed toe, child's. Dog. Shimmy forward to kneeling or not into plank. Plank should be fun, guys. Don't think rigid and force. Think playful, graceful, and easy. A little rock is so nice. Lower your body down to the floor. Options the same way we've done before. Electrify bottom half. Hover. Spread wide wings, but find the rotation in the shoulder head. Or if you're ready, palms press down, arms straighten, knees and thighs lift. And pause for a moment. Look. Maybe use your neck, swing around. Last breath, yogis. Press back to child's or straight to downward facing dog if your body's ready. Adding on again, right toes, they might just hover, or they press long out of hip, or they open up to the sky. I want the cutest yogi toes, so much energy in your toes. Look forward, crunch knee to chest, crunch a little more, and then land it forward in between your thumbs. It's okay if you kneeled, if you did a little breakdancing move, however you can get here that feels good. Back leg steps in. As we rise this time, drop your buns, sitting in a chair, but sweep fingertips behind you. Lift your chest in that beautiful back bend we just did. Okay, you're a downhill skier, facing that mountain head on, flying down with determination. Turn your thumbs out or up if possible. Think shoulder heads, up, back, and around, really making our clavicle open and smiley. Arms rise high, extended mountain pose. We've arrived. How do you want to float to the earth, my friends? Bend your knees a little, float down in a swan dive, or take one of your tips. Halfway lift. Lots of breath in here. Top of head to tail, so long. Shoulders relaxed, exhaling fully to release. Left leg steps back soft. Use your muscles. Finding any lunge with arms elevated. Stay right where you are for another breath, but just remember, if you love kneeling lunge and you want to find kneeling warrior, you're just going to swivel. Chest and hips open, left heel behind the left knee. Otherwise, find warrior two with the elevated back knee, and then just let your arms go. Literally like that sigh crept out of each finger and just sweeps tension away. Find effort and then ease. Effort in your foundation, ease in everything else. Make your fists. Time for our strong warriors. Reversing warrior, right arm up, we're bending elbows. And when we get into our forearms, about parallel, we press our fists away. Left side really open, strong here. And then spin around the other way. Left arm rising, bend elbows, right side active and open, but then push fists in opposite directions. Okay, let's have some fun with it. Breathe and move. Allow your breath to guide you. We're not worrying about anyone that you can see in the video at all. Now you know the shapes you're making, and you're just allowing your breath to dictate your dance with your body. Eyes looking wherever the path of least resistance is for our necks. Just one more each way. How long can you get in that lower side? This is gonna feel so good. Release your fists, warrior two. Just let the tension go. Ooh, fingers can get a little shaky, so we just wanna kind of give them some electricity. Send all that out. All good. Turn back to lunge, sweep arms high, or windmill the arms all the way down to frame out front foot. Downward facing dog, however you can get there. If you wanna sweep back, table, child, then dog. When your breath is ready to inhale, come forward. When you're ready to exhale, slowly lowering to the back bend of your choice. Same or different, whatever feels great. I love another option, which is taking fingertips a bit wider, like iguana feet, and then giving a little undulating cobra. One more breath wherever you are, with or without movement. Pausing is great too. Down dog, however you want to find it. Just a breath in here, yogis, but a beautiful breath, nurturing our bodies to the furthest points it can find. Left leg rises to your liking. Think about length, length, length. Maybe find a little more somewhere. Look forward and make it an active crunch, knee to belly, knee to throat, chin, nose, then land. And if you get stuck, we're gonna grab it and help it. We got this. Coming forward into lunge or kneeling lunge. Back leg steps in. All right, let's pause and fold here and rinse our shoulders. Hands clasped behind low back. Let your thumbs really rest on your low back. And then just shake your head no. Remember our easy mantra, you could use any, but let go is so easy to remember. Let go of what we don't need. Slow your no and start a yes. Yes, I'm ready to build up positivity, love, kindness, and compassion. Slow your yes shake. Bend your knees as much as you need to support your hamstrings and start to lift thumbs away from low back. Soft micro bend in your elbows, but elevate or press long to the point where we feel a beautiful rinsing or combing sensation in our shoulders. Bring thumbs back to low back and then go the non-habitual way. Crisscross thumbs the other way and all four fingers. See how that feels. Is it different? Observing, there's a unique quality to each shape we make, each movement we make, each breath we take, asking it what it has to teach us today. Fingertips fall slowly, yogis. They're gonna wanna fall like cinder blocks, so really slow that down. That's a challenge. And then roll up to standing very slowly, capturing your right knee along the journey and bringing it with you. There we go. If it doesn't want to rise all the way, that's okay. We take a little bent squat and we hold on to it. So we're just going to get some movement in our hip. Might be great just to hug it in if you can. If I can't grab my knee, but I've got my thigh, or I want to keep it on the floor, I'm just moving it in any way. There's no wrong way. Getting ready for some hip opening stretches. So we want to bring some activity there. All right, when you're ready, flex right foot, lift your knee from the inner thigh. Try to lift from the inner thigh to keep squared hips. Soften your left knee, and if we want walls or couches to hold on to, we're crossing into figure four. Real flexed, like you could stamp a full footprint on that wall. So if I evert or invert my toes, they can get a little funky in the knee, and I don't get a full stretch left to right. So we're gonna keep focusing on this flex here. Arms rise anywhere, a little bit, a whole lot, and our buns head in the opposite direction, right on down. All right, you'll know when you start to feel your right outer thigh and your buns switch on, that's a great spot to hold and breathe. Reach forward if possible. Sweep arms all the way behind you. Let's keep our shoulders open, our chest open. Look with a soft gaze, relax your neck. Sweep them back. Inhale, and then exhale, see if a fold is in our future. Reaching forward again, but this time maybe a little more. And I could also grab props to build the floor up. So I'm staying where I was, or I'm folding a bit deeper. Unclench facial muscles, give your left toes a wiggle. Recheck in with your foot stamp on the right side. I want all four corners of that foot always stamping the wall. Rise up, slow and steady. Rise up through the right knee all the way to the sky, star pose. Right leg extends, left arm on the diagonal, and then my up and down is right arm, left foot. I can always find the floor. Little star pulses with our right leg, but we're gonna lengthen this right side, okay? Really long and strong. 3, 2, and 1. Falling into warrior 3, but there's so many options. Fingers can come back. I like to find that first. And my right toes may want to stay on the floor. Otherwise, they rise with a flexed foot to hip height. And if I'm feeling really strong, I'm going to start the sweep of my arms forward. Bring them to chest or all the way overhead. Anywhere in between is wonderful. Thumbs up for the most open collarbones and shoulders being released. Last breath in. One more knee lift, yogis. Rise up, sweep your arms, sweep your knee, and then let go. Holy moly. Give your leg a shake, give it a rub, give it a little stamp out of any tension. Good job. I like to roll over my toes down there. It feels so nice, right? Reward your body. Arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gather up your left knee as you rise, and we're just giving it some love. So I may be on the ground, just kind of opening it, keeping my balance because I know I've got a challenge to come, or I might be here, here. Remember, any way is good. We're just trying to open things. I like to feel a little bit of every part of the hip, the glute, and the outer thigh. Then I know I'm awake and ready to go. Lift again. This time a strong flex from the inner thigh. So if I lift from the outer thigh, my hips are askew, right? Lift from the inner thigh. Whoosh, strong hips then. Cross over. Watch that we have a full stamp on that wall over there. Real strong. No inverting or everting. Notice, though, it's nice to explore the wrong way, because then you're like, oh, that's what I don't want to feel, just that one side or that funkiness in my knee. When you've arrived, arms elevate to anywhere. Anywhere works. And the hips go in the opposite direction. Send your body in two different directions. Find the effort in the lower half. Find the ease and the uplift in the upper half. Beautiful. Forward with the arms. Thumbs up if you can. Back. Opening. Ah, nice. Sweep behind you if it feels good. Just some shoulder circles. Inhale, lift again. Stay in any one of those positions or reach so far forward that you're like, oh, hey, I might want to fold. And then fold with the use of props or without. You decide. Wherever you've landed, face is released. Right toes are free of tension. And our foot stamp towards that right wall is really steady. Rise all the way up with the body. Lift your left knee again. Wobbles are great. That means we're challenging ourselves. Star pose. Remember, my star could tap the floor. Find that diagonal. Lift up. Now find openness, length, width. Be playful and challenging with your body. See a new place in these postures. One more breath in. Sweeping on back for warrior three. It could be more like an airplane variation. Back leg could be elevated, but my wings can come back towards the wall behind me. And when I feel ready, if I feel ready, I start to sweep forward a little bit. Finding a tucked chin for the longest, most wrinkle-free, relaxed neck. And finding those breaths. You fill in the blank here, my friends. I am. Finish that sentence at least once more. I am. Rise back to sky. Uplift left knee. Work through those shakes. One more knee lift. Flex your foot. Oh, we did it. Anything that needs a shake. Sometimes it just feels good and silly, and that helps you release the tension, the strength that you've gained. All right, let's find a lift. Exhale, forward fold, but this time it's it. We're coming down to the mat. Let your left leg fall first. Right leg comes, and then we're just gonna bring our hands behind us so we can take our legs in windshield wipers, whatever side makes sense to you first. Little windshield wipe. When you're ready, let them fall to the right, and if you can, lift and twist around past your right knee. Lean back, swish to the left. Lift your body, twist around over the left knee. It's okay if we don't make it that far, just a little twist in that direction. Lean back, swish right, land, twist. One more time like that. Nice. Now we're gonna add on, my friends. Knees to right. Watch me for a sec. Left knee is down. I'm just gonna try to lift that left ankle. That's tough, right? But if I turn my body around the corner a little bit, it makes it a tad bit easier. Knees to the left. Turn wherever it feels good for you. Right foot, ankle, and the inner calf lift. I don't need hands, so I'm gonna work towards Maybe trying to do it without hands. Feeling that back body, feeling the glute, woo, all good stuff. All parts of the hip. All right, let's try one more each side, whatever you need. Sometimes if you lean away, it's a little easier to lift that leg. Super job, guys. Come all the way back to the right again, but we're staying this time. Right hand behind us. I like to start with my left hand on my hip because sometimes you get a little pop here as you lift your buns. We're lifting up and then lowering, asking how I feel on my right shoulder. Do I need to tweak my fingers to make the shoulder feel less? I don't want to feel a big compression in there. Arms start to rise through the left side. And when you get to the tippy top of the next one, hold your spiral lift. But if you need a little extra, left leg would extend to ball of foot or mound of big toe, and then rise up. Take your right heel wherever you like it to give you lots of oomph. Help you lift, look around. Moving through the top arm can really change how things feel. Last one, guys, wherever you are, big breath in. Release all the way back and just swish. Lean back. Right shoulder feel okay? Do you need a little roll? Just swish, freeing up. We're letting our legs release themselves. When you're back on the left side, we're gonna play. Stay and play. Let's open the hips. Might wanna hold on to your right hip to start and just see how your left shoulder feels when you lift. Ooh, if you get a little pop there, I always do too. Sometimes I get a pop when I lift my right shoulder too. So I think about those as new open spaces ready to be breathed into. Right arm starts to rise. You can use your left fist too if your hand is getting tired. Stay at the top of the next one, or if you know you want a little extra, right big toe mound down. Lift up and see where you are. Moving really slowly through the eyes and the neck. Moving a little bit through the top arm. Just asking yourself what this posture has to teach us. Where can I find more length? Last breath in. And release on down, right to your buns for a final swish. Come right on around. As big or as small as you want to take these. Let's find, I like cobbler's pose, that's a cool name. I also think about it as butterfly back in the early days when you were a kid because it's so whimsical. So whatever you call it, bound angle, bring the soles of your feet together. Open the ball edge of your feet. And then just act as if you could read deep into your soles, like you've cracked open a new book. Scoot heels forward, away from pelvis or close, whatever feels best. And then just wiggle or actually gently remove the flesh from under your sits bones. Okay, when you're ready, lift your chest. Come forward and down, long as you can, and then feel free to curve and round all the way back up. We'll try 3 more breaths like that, long, long. Like a sigh release, roll up to seated. Let's just check in with what our toes and our facial muscles are doing as we roll through. Upturned corners of mouths are beautiful. All that other facial tension, let it go. Come forward. Put something cozy underneath your belly, or if you're struggling to keep your knees lifted as we pause here, find any amount of support from anything you have. Yeah, you might need it on both sides, of course. And then just soften down. Towards the end of your practice, if you prefer really still, quiet postures, please do. But I always like to invite movement into mine, just to check in everywhere. So I do that little cruise boat sway. Remembering that as we sway, we can add in a little neck. And then let's re-rise. Trying to find Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs. Left leg is coming down and right leg is coming over top. Now, it might look easy to get here, but it's certainly not. So we can always extend our left leg straight and we have half Gomukhasana, right knee on top. We're attempting to stack our knees. Or you can build something up under your buns or props under knees or in between them. So wherever you are, your right leg is crossed on top. If your right foot is floating, it's nice to have a prop or an accessory under there. Once again, a little shimmy in your buns or a little help to get the sits bones free so they can really ground and root. Arms rise. Twisting over to the right side. Eyes follow fingertips if your neck is in agreement. Rise again, breathe in. Tipping over to the left side, just a twist around the corner. One more time each way. Breathe in, feel light and long, and then feel really strongly grounded, rooted into the present moment. Last time. Back in the center. Right fingertips fall to a prop or the floor, and we uplift. One more lateral stretch, but I'm going to glue my left sits bone to wherever it is. Then reach up and over. Open up through the chest, explore with the eyes and the neck. One more big breath in. Beautiful. Top arm falls. Let's let our legs do the work for us. Lean back, let them uncross. If you're stuck, of course you can help. Lift up, and then take them out into stick pose, would be feet together. But we're gonna come to a little bit wider than hips or shoulders. And then when you get there, instead of just forcing your legs out, lift each cheek and walk it back. Yeah, lift the other cheek, walk it back. Then I press forward and pull back so I get the most beautiful hamstring length. Arms lift overhead, and we're gonna fall like a wave. Wave breath. Fall, but then recede back into the ocean. Pull back. I like to make fists here. Inhale your fists like you're Superman coming up through the center of the earth. Then open palms and just float down soft as a raindrop. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fall. Last one, yogis. Don't you worry, I got you. We're gonna stay on this one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Anything I need to support me in my forward fold, especially paying attention to knees that are hyper flexible. I might want to put a little rolled up something, or even roll my mat up under my knees. Or I can think about micro bending them, just really keeping them soft. As you're softening into your stretch, paying attention again to your toes. If they're really actively flexed, energized, and pulling back towards our hip bones, great. Sometimes they want to poke in or poke out. Notice how that really changes our stretch. So we want to go for the full effect with a really strongly flexed foot here. Last big breath in, your forward fold. Coming on out and just setting our props to the side if we have them, letting our legs do it for us. Lean back, pulling right knee in. And then remember the cow face leg. So I'm attempting to get my left leg over top. I can certainly help it around, but I may need a straight bottom leg. And if I'm hovering all up here, it's okay. Put your props in, attempting to stack left knee on top of right. Whatever variation your body loves today, let's just scoot our buns a bit, or you can just so gently remove the flesh from sits bones. Sometimes it's nice to really pull back the sits bone of your top leg, your left leg, and find beautiful length here. Arms rise when you're ready. Exhale, forward fold this time. Just to the point where your sits bones are still finding their roots. If they've elevated, lift. Try again. Or just surrender to your posture where it is. Unclenching anything that's hanging on. Exhaling any frustration, tension, blockages. Inhaling, observing. Noticing what we find, and then handling it with kindness and compassion. Release. Rise back up, arms are overhead. And then right arm falls, left arm lifts, side bends. Good. Just a little bit bigger. Explore your options. Eyes, top arm. Top arm falls, we're releasing our legs again. Try to let them undo themselves. If you're in a bit of a pretzel, then we can help them out. And then we're easing back to the mat. Take any swishes you need. Hold your thighs if you need it, or rest hands on your knees. Just slide them down your thighs, finding our backs. Then once you've arrived, just take a moment. Heels near your buns. Reaching down to see if I could tickle them, either Achilles tendon or heel area. That's a good spot to be. If you can walk heels a little closer and find them, that's great. And then bring arms out to sides with palms up. Open and receiving. Listening to our breath and checking in to see where we are at the end of our practice. As we lift up into our next bridges, I'd like us to focus on spinal undulation. So I want to really flatten out my low back, curl my tailbone up towards backs of knees, and then one tiny vertebrae at a time, articulate my spinal roll up, 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 up. Doesn't matter how high, just feel really liquid in the spine, and then back down in the opposite way. One slow vertebrae at a time. Melt the low back in. Last but not least, let the tailbone melt in. Then retuck, roll, release. All the way back to the earth, let everything melt. One more time, but let's find a bridge this time. However, it feels really nice for you. I love palms up, so we're not using our shoulders as much. Stamp heels down, and then drag them under your body towards your shoulders, really pulling back, feeling perky in the lower glutes. One more tuck of your tailbone towards backs of knees. Elevate both heels. Breathe. Squeeze like you're trying to pop a balloon in between your knees here. One more breath. Heels lower. And we just melt our spines back down into the earth. Whatever feels right, yogis. Remember our butterfly wing from earlier, if that feels best. If you'd rather gather up your knees and pull them towards your armpits or into your chest, that's such a nice offering at the end of class because it's like the most loving full body hug. So you can just hug your body and be like, good work, body, beautiful movements today. Asking your spine if it wants a little massage, a little rock side to side. Try it with knees closed and knees open. Feel how it widens when your knees open. Might feel really different as you rock. Happy baby, flex feet. Like we're gonna stamp the whole footprint on the ceiling. Hold inner or outer foot or thigh, ankles or calf, whatever. And then energetically think, knees down next to my ribs. I can make my baby really happy by rocking side to side. You can always be extra playful and extend the leg out. Whatever feels good, yogis. I do love that toe stretch. We've done that before in my class, but I hold blade edge of foot, and it's like, if toes pose that we did earlier is just a little too much with your toes tucked, then you can do it this way and stretch the bottom of your foot. Yeah, feels so nice. One more big breath wherever you are. And then whatever you may need at the end of class to finish and get all your wiggles out, thinking about how today would be best set up for our resting posture, a little relaxation, a tiny meditation at the end, whether that's a corpse pose with extremities away from our midlines, shoulders rolling out, back and down, chin tucked, lengthening back of neck. Or if you prefer a supported bridge with that butterfly wing of feet, a waterfall, toes to sky, something supportive under your buns. If you'd like to back up against the wall or turn into the fetal position, all are beautiful. Just get really cozy. And let's restart with connection to our breath. Always noticing with kindness, non-judgment, compassion, most importantly, curiosity. Remember in the beginning when we checked in and you thought, my breath is feeling a little bit like it's touching collarbones, or I might have felt it under my heart. Now do we feel it to top ribs, Is it inflating your navel area? Hopefully we've opened these new spaces and breathed love and light. As you breathe in, harmony and balance, strength and courage. Let go of any frustration, anger, negative energy. And it's okay if they don't go. That's why we're here on the mat. Maybe we're not letting them go, we're just observing them. Or maybe we need to accept them. Allow them to arise. Nurture them however they're needed. If they're ready to leave, let them go on an exhalation. Noticing our breaths. As you continue with that practice, it's sometimes helpful to count our breaths. So I like to think of a simple box technique. We breathe in a certain number, hold for that same length of time, breathe out the same length, and then pause again. Forming that little mental box really keeps me focused in my brain. I'm going to guide you through that with a 4-count breath, but if that feels panicky, slow it down, speed it up, whatever you need to do. We're just finding our own rhythm here. Take one big breath in and a huge sigh out your mouth at any speed. And let's see if we can sync our breath. Breathing in when you're ready. We'll use 4 as our example. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, pause at the top, 4, 3, 2, exhale softly, 4, 3, 2, pause again, release your facial muscles, let go of any tightness, 2, and 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, pause and let go, 3, 2, exhale, pause. Continue with your breath practice. I'd like to share with you a beautiful inspirational quote from a sage in the old days, Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras. It's just a very philosophical, inspirational quote that I hope resonates with you at the end of your practice. Keep breathing. When you are inspired by some great purpose, some extraordinary project, all of your thoughts break their bonds. Your mind transcends limitations. Your consciousness expands in every direction. And you find yourself in a new, great, wonderful world. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive. And you discover yourself to be a greater person by far than you ever dreamed yourself to be. Beautiful quote by Patanjali. I think that is just the really long, elaborate version of you stand in your highest power when you're in the present moment, which is what our yoga practice really embodies. So congratulations on that beautiful physical, mental, and spiritual practice today. Bring your breath just back to a normal rhythm. Maybe a few sighs, knowing it's time to wake up and resume this beautiful day we have ahead. Taking a little look side to side wherever you are. Bringing a wiggle into fingertips and toes, wrists and ankles. Whatever you're feeling movement-wise, if you're seated, it may feel like a little piece of seaweed in the sea. If you're down on your back or your side, we may wrap ourselves into the biggest little ball. Find the next step, whether it's to your side or seated. And then rechecking in, just kind of noticing how we feel in the low back. Is it a little easier to lift up and find that beautiful posture we've gained in our practice, or do we need an extra support? When you're ready to join me, hands at heart center. Thumbs in towards heart to try to find heartbeat. Lift your heart up. We're going to lead strong from the left side today, leading with our heart. Chin tucks in, taking a little bow to your practice. And I bow to you, yogis. The light in me honors, is inspired by, and was so humbled and grateful to be in the presence of the light that is each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste, and I can't wait to see you again.